All right, let's see what our players have brought to the field of battle, starting with Norska. Now, Norska is going to have 4 units of Skin Wolves, 2 of them armored, 1 of them being the ROR, 2 unarmored. Wait, sorry, I lied. It looks like 3 armored and 1 unarmored Skin Wolf. 2 Norskin Warhounds, 1 unit of Norskin Warhounds being the Beast of Tashnar, and these are 2 units of Norskin Ice Wolves. I always get them confused. Now, for the infantry in this Norskin army, we're going to have what appears to be 1 unit of Spearmen. He's then going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Marauders. One of them will be the ROR Icehorn Marauders. And then we're going to have some Marauder Berserkers over here. For the leadership, we're going to be looking at a Brave Shaman Sorcerer, a Shaman Sorcerer of Fire with Flaming Sword of Ruin, Cascading Fire Cloak, and Kindle Flame. And then we have Throg absolutely naked. So seems to be liking his Throg today. And boy, oh boy, I like Throg too, so I'm alright with it. Coming over here to the Wood Elves being brought by Xiphos, we're going to have the Wardens of Cithrall, ROR Wildwood Rangers. He is going to then have the rest of his infantry force fleshed out by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Eternal Guard. And we're going to be looking at the Firebark Eldar's Treekin, and then 2 other regular variants of Treekin, all here in the forest, providing some mass for their Eternal Guard to do work. Now, for the leadership, we got a Branch Wraith with Call of the Woods, Earthblood, Blessing of the Ancients. We got Durthu with Transformation of Kadan, Sword of Daith, Blessing of the Ancients as well. So, looks like we're going to be seeing a blob here from Xiphos, and then to fulfill the attacking role, he is going to be bringing 3 Hawk Riders. What in the world is this, yeah? I don't know. It's an ODM secret, apparently, but yeah, the 3 Hawk Riders up here bring fire from above, and they also have armor-piercing damage. And against this Norscan army, they're going to have a field day. This guy doesn't even have Fireball. Norska literally has 0 range right now. I think this battle may be over before it starts. And not to be harsh here, Norska has plenty of tools here, and I guess if they get in the forest and can dish out damage to the Treekin, but it's just, I'm really having my doubts here that they're going to be able to pull this off. No range units whatsoever to skirmish against these Hawk Riders. I think these Hawk Riders are just going to pick and choose what target they want to snipe down. The Norskins search for the Wood Elf army, and then unfortunately probably lose in the melee combat against the Wood Elf army because they're all in the forest getting bonuses. Durthu can take on Throg. Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. Yeah, Caster is so dead. Oh, poor Norska. This is one of those fights where you like get into it and you're like, oh shit, I forgot ranged units. I have nothing to counter this. Damn it. Yeah, Taco must be pissed off right now. I know I would be. And it's not anything against Xiphos here. This is a perfectly viable army, and it's just one of those things where unfortunately he went for this build that I don't think his opponent was expecting, and he's going to be paying the price now because he has no ranged units to counter this skirmish fire from the air. And, you know, I'm guessing he was probably anticipating like maybe a Forest Dragon or something, but he doesn't need to worry about shooting the Forest Dragon. He just needs to wait for it to land and then punish it. But in this case, he absolutely needed some Javelins or Marauder Horsemen or something to help against these Hawk Riders because they're just going to get a free Lord Snipe now. But yeah, Norskins, I think, predicting where they think the Wood Elf forces are going to be, getting ready to form up here, maybe go for some wide wraparound deployment to try and overwhelm this Wood Elf box. But keep in mind, he hasn't seen this army yet. This army is just literally can't be surrounded. Well, it can be surrounded, but if it's surrounded, it has spearmen on every angle ready for it, with Treekin protecting it too. And yeah, in spite of some noble efforts to dodge it, it just looks like this Norscan caster is going to be dead as a door now before the fight even begins. Oh, this is painful. This is painful. Painful to watch. There goes them. And keep in mind, too, without the Flaming Sword of Ruin, these Treekin all have physical resistance. physical resistance of 20%, and that's going to be all of the magic damage taken off the field from the Norskins already. Alright, yep, Caster is routing, so we're going to switch their attention to Throg, it seems. He doesn't have the highest armor, only at 55, so he's going to be taking a lot of damage from these skirmishing units. Meanwhile, over here, looks like some of the frontline units have gotten engaged. Marauders diving in first, I like that. But be patient here, make sure you take as much time as possible to surround the enemy. But yeah, Norscan Ice Wolf's getting left behind as well. I feel like our Norscan player here, Flying Taco, may be a bit flustered just by virtue of the fact that he's already lost his magic access, and he's now just getting this Lord sniped down by Hawk Riders. I do want to keep an eye on this caster, see if anything happens. Is it going to come back? Oh, he might just route right off the map. Yep, he's not going to regain his leadership, and that's going to be magic off the field. Balance of power still in favor of Norska, though. But coming in over here, we're going to see that these Eternal Guard are doing just fine. Marauders would normally just shred through them, but with Treekin backing them up, it's going to make it a much harder nut to get through the shell of. And look at this. Throg, so low on health, already just getting sniped down by these Hawk Riders. These Hawk Riders have just had whatever they've wanted to do, they can do so with impunity because there's absolutely nothing to counter them in this Norscan army. And I know I've been repeating that. I'm a broken record right now, but yeah, this is a tough fight. And like I said earlier, I think he just lost it in the drawing board. And I don't say that often. There's very few builds where I think you kind of lose in the drawing board, and this is one of the battles where I think that has definitely happened. And we're going to see a Wood Elf victory in a very convincing manner. And Terror kicking in, Feral Manticore diving in. There goes the leadership. Skinwolf's getting Terror routed. And that's a really good game to Xiphos. I don't want to take away from that. It's a frustrating thing to watch, or a frustrating thing especially to play against, but it's a completely legitimate tactic, and ultimately, I'm sure Flying Taco recognizes he owns some of the blame here for not bringing anything to counter the potential air force of the Wood Elves. But yeah, there's just nothing that can be done here. Eternal Guard are also healthy. The Wardens of Cithral haven't even been engaged yet. All of the Treekin are doing just fine. And it's just, yeah, looking like bad news bears. And also want to point out these guys are still hanging out back here, not doing much of anything. Flying Taco, I should have thought about the map. Whoops. And yeah, I mean, he seems to recognize that this is just a bad matchup for him right now. However, look at this. The Marauder Berserkers are still chewing through a lot of this this Wood Elf infantry. No, never mind. Manticore just got Terror out on top of all these units too, and now Dirthu's coming out. And yeah, this is a GG, but I'm thinking army losses are going to be kicking in here in the near future. And look, there goes another transformation of Kadan. We're going to get another Manticore in this fight. More Terror and more routing. Norscan Ice Wolves finally recognizing that they have been out of the fight for far too long, and they are coming into the forest, but they're going to be met with some lovely burning trees. We should be careful. They're going to start a forest fire. Tony 23, it was some beautiful Hawk Rider cheese. Indeed, indeed. And it's sad, too, because Norska has tools to deal with Hawk Riders so well. Marauder Horsemen, Marauder Horsemasters, Hunters with Javelins absolutely shred Hawk Riders, but unfortunately, Flying Taco just brought nothing to answer them. He didn't even have Fireball on the Sorcerer, and at least Fireball, he could have been killing models over time, but yeah, this is one of those fights where I think in hindsight, Flying Taco's going to recognize this army, although I think it's cool, really isn't very well balanced. It needs to have something in there to help out with skirmishing. Otherwise, as you see right there, your opponent could bring 3 Hawk Riders and then boom, game over. But that was definitely a rough one to watch. A good game to Xiphos for really understanding the map. understanding the matchup, and his gamble paid off. So GG to both players, but we're going to an ace match, ladies and gentlemen. Ace match! And this time I don't think one of the players has a migraine, so we should actually see it be fought. This is match point for Xiphos, and if Flying Taco wins this, he will be taking us to sudden death. A blind pick, winner takes all final match to reset the bracket, since ODM Xiphos is still on the winning side and has not been defeated yet.